This guy is a wrecking machine, and he's hungry.
All of you chumps are gonna bow. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Money.
You're listening to The Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB. If you'd like to contact Mr. Credit, visit mrcredit.org.
All right, welcome to The Real Estate Debate, where we debate the hottest topics in San Diego real estate and guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Mr. Credit here, your host, and judging today's action and co-hosting with me is my good buddy Sean Cahan with Cornerstone Mortgage Bank. Sean, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. You're looking very fresh and clean with the new haircut today.
Mr. Brown's.
You can see all the past shows on therealestatedebate.com if you'd like to see the video versions, or go to the YouTube page at youtube.com/Mr. Credit Radio. Sean, exciting show today. Past champ in the studio, very close to past champ a couple times in the studio.
Almost.
And we have a newbie today
Yes.
on the Real Estate Debate. So a good mixture of veterans, new people, past champions. Should be an exciting show.
I'm looking forward to it, and I want to see the newbie and what his responses are going to be.
Okay, all right. Interested to see how he does. It's going to be interesting, and he's a very sharp guy. Before we introduce our contestants today, there was a story I saw that I wanted to bring up with you particularly. And this is through Inman.com, which is a kind of a real estate website, real estate-centric content website that's run by Brad Inman. And they recently published a story that was titled, quote, "It will take a village to close a mortgage in 2015. Now, we're into 2015 now. I mean, we're in Q2 2015 now. Mm-hmm. You tell me, is there some reality behind, the mortgage process taking longer now, or is that going to be coming down the pike?
I don't think that the actual process has gotten harder or more difficult. I just think that with FHA dropping, kind of like the rates have kind of come down, it was the perfect storm where everyone got really, really busy very, very quick. And so now it is taking longer because when a file goes in and, there are time-sensitive documents in there. So if a file takes a long time, then they're always having to send in more documents instead of having a clean package from the very beginning, get all the way to the funding table before they actually expire. So I've been hearing a lot about the banks having that issue. And so then on the consumer side, they feel that, hey, what else do you want? Do you want my blood sample? And it's just kind of repeating the same question from the very beginning, but it's just taking a very long time.
There's a little bit of a jab in this article about mortgages being tight, difficult to get. Do you feel that there's any truth to that? Has that part changed?
I don't think that the guidelines have actually changed. I think what is changing is more of like the investor overlays. Some banks are wanting to service more. So these direct banks are coming up and saying, hey, we had a great 2012, 2013, 2014. And so what they're doing is they're putting their money in their own banks and now servicing. So as soon as they start servicing the loans, I see more tightening of the restrictions on the overlays because now they're on the actual hook for the servicing side. So
interesting.
That's what I've seen.
So the banks are holding on to the paper instead of selling it to Fannie Mae.
Well, they're still selling the paper, but they're actually servicing the mortgage, and you just don't want like an EPO. You don't want to sell the mortgage early.
Right.
Because it's more of like an annuity when you service a mortgage compared to actually just selling it. You get your cut, the bank gets theirs, the loan officer, and then you move on. It's almost like I call it turning the paper as fast as possible compared to this way. The banks are holding on to the mortgages to try to get that annuity because Fannie and Freddie actually pay a very large, or like a yearly stipend if you service their mortgages. So
right. Yeah. Oh, great stuff from Sean the Mortgage Geek. It's Sean Cahan with Cornerstone Mortgage Bank. He is one of the best mortgage professionals in San Diego. That's why we invite him on the show. Appreciate you coming in today. Spend the time judging the program. If you have questions about buying or refinancing a home, you can call Sean at 619-519-3780. So 619-519-3780. 3780. Sean, you ready to meet today's contestants?
I am.
Okay, let's start with the number one seat. David Stone is here from GreaterGoodRealty.com. David, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here.
You are the aforementioned newbie today, so this is your first time. Not your first time on the show. You've been on the show. This is your first time on the Real Estate Debate. How do you feel? You're nervous?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just curious. When's the last time a newbie has won?
Well, it's happened. It's happened, but it's been a while. I'll be honest with you.
The first show?
It's been some time. It's a difficult show to win. It really is. It's a difficult show to win. If you win the show, you've really done something special.
Well, I got a bunch of statistics here, a little bit of experience, and I got a good dose of kissing up to the judge coming up here. So I'm ready.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that you get points for.
I like Skittles.
Right away is the ability to maintain the fedora with the headset on. I mean, that however you pulled that off. I know that's your shtick. You're the fedora guy.
That's right.
People have seen you around. You have the fedora on all the time. He was somehow able to figure out how to do that and put the headset on. So congratulations and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Sir.
Appreciate
it. And the champ is here. Brian Curry's in the house from Caldwell Banker and BrianCurry.com. Mr. Curry, how do you do, sir?
I do well. Thank you. How do you do?
Do good, man.
Hey, I will tell you, I know these two people by reputation.
You do.
And you got a great panel. I mean, you always bring in great guests. These two are well known out in the streets as being really great professionals. So this is going to be a great show.
And I would say that across the board in here today.
Yeah, you always bring the A game in here.
Yeah, this is great stuff. Now, Brian, you're looking for your second golden microphone trophy
I'm searching,
today.
man. I've been second a couple of times in a row, man.
I
I'm just
know.
like I'm reaching. It's a tough debate.
It's tough to win the
really
show.
is.
It just is. So if you're the winner today, you'll be one of only a handful of people who have 2 or more trophies. So good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nicole Hazelton is here in seat number 3 with Hazelton and Associates and YourSDHome.com. Nicole's looking for her first golden microphone trophy. Nicole, will today be the day?
I hope today will be the day. I'm prepared.
You're prepared?
So we'll see.
You're always prepared. You always do well. You always do well. We've had a few things happen in the past. We're not going to go there. But
I've been announced a few times.
You've been announced a couple times as a winner. No trophies to show. But good luck to you today.
Thank you.
As we open the show with Rapid Fire.
Let's go around the table for Rapid Fire.
I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
Keep it short and keep it on point.
1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animals.
Today's Rapid Fire topic is tips for winning a bidding war in the peak season of this hot market, which we would think would be like a month or 2 from now, but seems like we're already there. Contestants be prepared with many answers, 5 to 10 seconds per answer. We're starting with David Stone.
Well, one of the obvious ones, provide a loan pre-approval letter and proof of funds statement when you submit the offer.
Okay, yep, no question about it. Brian Curry.
I would say this candidly, there is no winning in a bidding war. But if you got to get into one, go back to the village that closes the loan, make sure that the loan officer is involved. And that I have the loan officers call the listing agents, show you how qualified my buyer really is.
Yeah. Sean, you agree with that? I think that's a good idea.
I call every single listing agent.
You call them all.
Yeah, it's huge.
There it is.
90%.
Nicole Hazelton.
When you are given a multiple counter offer, accept with an addendum increasing your price to set you above the rest.
Interesting. I didn't know you could do that.
You can.
That's brilliant. David Stone.
I always have buyers, when it's a competitive situation, write that dear seller letter, trying to form that common bond. If they notice that there's dogs that lived in the house, kid pictures on the walls, anything that can sort of personalize and humanize rather than having that piece of paper sitting in front of the seller. They want to feel that they know the buyer and who's going to enjoy their home in the future.
Dear seller letter, definitely a good idea. Brian Curry.
Graduated deposits. What I'll do is I'll bring an earnest money deposit in, and after certain contingencies have been met, I'll bring in more money. Make it hard money on the deal. If my client really wants the house and you put hard money on a deal, a seller's more apt to take that.
I totally agree. That is a great point that is not brought up often enough. A lot of people try to put $1,000 earnest money. Put $10,000. Show them you really want the house. That really does make a difference.
Yeah, then up the ante, and it makes a difference.
Totally. Makes you stick out. Nicole Hazelton.
Price isn't always the determining factor, so I would learn more about the seller situation so that you can tailor the terms of the offer according to their needs.
So for example, if they don't want to necessarily be out of the house for a couple months or something like that, or rent back, it's a very, very good idea. Right now we're doing the rapid fire segment on the real estate debate. Today's rapid fire topic is tips for winning a bidding war in the peak season of this very hot market that we have right now in San Diego. We're back to David Stone.
Reduce contingency periods in the initial offer. The standard on the residential purchase agreement is 17-day for inspection, appraisal, and 21-day for loan approval. There's no reason that you need 17-day for a home inspection. Go ahead and chop that down to 10 right out of the gate. If you're working with a quality lender like Sean Cahan, he should be able to even close it within 21 days and maybe push that down to 17-day on a loan approval as well.
Okay. Look to remove contingencies or lower the amount of time on contingencies to get ahead in the game. Brian Curry.
I'm going to show my age on this one. Hand carry your offer to the listing agent. Hand carry it. Walk it over to their office, walk in, introduce yourself, sit down, and have a conversation.
You mean no DocuSign, Brian?
No DocuSign, no fax, no PDF. Actually get in the car and drive your offer over to the other party.
That is absolutely brilliant stuff. Nicole Hazelton.
Mind your manners and make sure that your agent is courteous from scheduling the showings to locking up the house when you're done.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to stuff like that. People notice it. They'll get ticked off. There's no question about it. David Stone.
Pick a realtor that knows how to write up a clean offer. Being on the other side of my listings, it's amazing that you'll get some agents that will have such a messy offer, whether it's handwritten, the wrong boxes checked off, or even having a wrong property information on the wrong page. So the buyer should make sure they're dealing with someone that's professional, that's reputable. That's who they're mirroring on the offer.
That never happens, does it, Sean?
Of course not.
If you just look through the MLS at properties, you'll see some crazy stuff sometimes, Brian Curry.
This is one of my yikes ones, but it goes back to my first comment, which is there is no winning in a bidding war, but remove the appraisal contingency. If you absolutely know the numbers make sense and there's a range of appraisal numbers that would make sense to your buyer, remove the appraisal contingency. Show them how serious you are about buying the house regardless.
You should have a pretty good idea what it's going to appraise for,
you
honestly.
should.
I mean, you should be able to. That's one of the ones people get scared by, but the reality is you should know very, very closely what the thing's going to appraise for ahead of time.
Absolutely.
If you have a good agent. No question. Very good stuff from Brian Curry. Nicole Hazelton.
I like that.
Write in an as-is clause so that the seller understands you're going to be easy to work with throughout the process. You might not be nickeling and diming them for repairs or credits along the way.
Okay. Yeah. Very good idea. An as-is clause. Well, you don't see that very often. All right. Fantastic opening segment here in Rapid Fire on the real estate debate. Coming up, it'll be time for Agree or Disagree. We'll check in with our co-host and judge, Sean Cahan, to see what the scores are, and we'll continue to make you smarter than everyone else. It's all guaranteed.